Chiefs Kingdom, ACU crew, welcome back to All Chiefs Up. We're live with another podcast for that ass, powered by BetUS. Steve, what's going on, man?
Not much, my man. Ready to talk about some Chiefs football tonight. It's been a long day. It's time to chill with the crew and have some fun.
Yeah, dude. So today we're going to cover three things the Chiefs must improve on before Sunday Night Football versus the Falcons. And I think this goes back from week 1 and week 2, just some things that I think everybody can agree that they probably need to work on a little bit. But before we get going, let's talk about our sponsor, BetUS. Everybody head over to betus.com. Check them out right here. I'm getting ready to make some bets on a little bit of the Falcons game, baby. I'm going to put down a little money to win a little money. So get over there. They're doing 150% deposit bonus on the first deposit. The next two, they go 125% with code YouTube150. So get over there, check them out. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you. BetUS.com, YouTube150. Let's jump in, Steve.
Do it.
Let's jump in. The number one thing that I think that we need to look at is it's pretty obvious what it is. I think it's the offensive tackle play. I mean, this is, and I'll say offensive line play in general, but technically, besides Creed and Joe Tooney, no, I'll say both. I'll say they're all playing well. I'm going to say they're all playing well, except for Kingsley. But we kind of knew this was going to happen. I found this little chart today, and it's a tackle pass protection. It's a blown block percentage to pressure percentage allowed. And you don't want to be at the bottom left. You want to be at the top right. And Jawan Taylor, if you look at the very top, he is right above Orlando Brown Jr., which means he's not allowing a lot of pressure. He's allowing about 3% pressure, maybe 3.5%, and his blown block percentage is at 0. Like, he is playing pretty nicely right there. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see Kingsley in no man's land down here. Like, he's still not as bad, say, as Anton Harrison, the first-round draft pick last year from Jacksonville, Verdon Lowe from the Pats, Nicholas Petit-Frere, which a lot of people thought that the Chiefs should look at last year or the year before coming out in the draft. I even see Akeem Ekwonu right up there. That's a top 5 draft pick right
Andrew
above
Wiley,
him.
the old Andrew Wiley.
Right, Andrew Wiley. So, look, J.C. Latham's right above him. So, look, this isn't where Kingsley wants to be, right? It's not where Kingsley wants to be.
Well, you know what's good about it for Kingsley compared to these other guys? He's played 2 games in the NFL.
100%, man.
Right.
100%. So I think we can all agree that Kingsley does need to step up just a little bit.
Well, do you think that chart would look a little bit different if it didn't count last week's game? Because I feel like he had a pretty good game week 1 against Matabuke and Owe, but last week, Trey Hendrickson ate his lunch.
Well, I feel like this took into account both games.
Right.
So I think that's what they're doing. I'm also bringing it up on screen right here, Steve. I threw this one out today. I went through their offensive line, the run blocking grades through 2 weeks. Player, then zone, then gap grade. Against the zone, Creed Humphrey is the first on the team, 93.2, but he only scores a 60.6 in gap runs. Kind of odd because I feel like Humphrey's a pretty good gap blocker, and it's just it's not working this year. I mean, 60's pretty good.
Yeah.
Trey Smith, 93.2 to 70.9. Okay, Tooney's a 75, 70.3. So Tooney's not even as high as he should be. Tooney should be right up there with Trey Smith, man. Let's be honest. Jawan Taylor looks better this year, 77 and a 59.7 on gap grade. He's never been a good gap run blocker. I mean, it is what it is. And then Kingsley, down here at the bottom yet again, man, 44.7. This is run blocking, and this is usually what his bread and butter is. But he's missed a lot of assignments when I went back and watched some of these. That Bengals game in particular, he missed a lot of assignments. He actually missed a block in the red zone that would have probably sprung Pacheco for a touchdown.
He was, I think he was a little taken aback. I mean, he was getting beat to death. So I think he just wasn't all there mentally either. You have to think if you're sitting there trying to figure out how you're going to stop somebody every play, you're probably going to miss some things. This is all an experience.
Yeah, I wrote big struggles for Kingsley all around through 44 snaps. That's what he's had, 44 run blocking snaps. For anybody wondering, Wanye Morris only scored a 48.7 and a 57.3. So he's only about 4 points higher on each side. And instead of 44 reps, he's only taken 6, and he's already down that low. So I don't know if that was a big enough disparity there for Andy to just, just go right in with Wanye. But we'll see. They said that today both of those two are preparing as if they're going to start versus the Falcons. And I think it needs to be that way. I think maybe given Kingsley the initial go ahead, like, hey, this is your job, because it kind of felt like that all off season. I didn't really feel like there was ever a time Wanye pressed him for that starting left tackle job, and maybe he needed that a little bit more. You think?
I just think it's translating to the NFL, man. It's just going to take some time. It's an experience. I'd be interested to see if there's any other starting rookie left tackles that are on that list that you had. Like, I'm not for sure who was drafted, who might be playing. Is J.C. Latham's up there?
J.C. Latham's right above Kingsley. You'll see him above Cam Robinson, Colton Miller. Just look straight up from Kingsley. You'll see him right in the middle of the screen.
Right.
J.C. Latham, I mean, he was a guy that everybody thought he was going to be, like, spot on. Tyler Guyton, if you keep going up the screen, right in the middle of the screen, you'll see him with the Cowboys. So that means he's not blown any blocks. So he's only blown maybe 1.5% of his blocks in pass protection. So maybe if Dak Prescott's thrown the ball 100 times, he's only blown 2 assignments. I would say he's probably not thrown the ball 100 times in 2 games, but just for that, just for the craps and giggles there. If you look over to the right a little bit, right in the middle of the screen, you'll see Darnell Wright, who was the first-round pick of the Bears last year, and that a lot of people thought the Chiefs could have looked at Darnell Wright last year. Again, they're getting up there to where they need to be. You want to be in this top right-hand quadrant, and you'll see Paris Johnson Jr. But look, also, Trent Williams is not as far over as he should be this early in the season. So it is really early in the year, and this is just through 2 games. I'm going to be very excited to see how this tracks throughout the year, and I hope whoever threw this up, and I forget, it's a account stat, add account stat, and they use the PFF and SIS, but I hope they keep updating this throughout the year. But if you look at the top right-hand corner, my man, Zach Tom and Charles Cross. Do you remember when Zach Tom come out of college at Wake Forest? And Pops was a huge Zach Tom fan.
Yeah.
Apparently Pops can pick out the chubs, huh?
Well, here's the thing. So it's a small sample size, right? So
yes.
I'm not like super crazy about that because first of all, we saw Orlando Brown Jr. up there at the very top where he should be, probably in the top 5 or 6 tackles, period.
Yeah, I mean, he's not blown any assignments.
That's what I'm saying. So we all know how Orlando Brown Jr. plays, right?
Yeah,
so when he was here,
4% pressure.
When he was in Kansas City, he was getting ran out of it because they said he sucked. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I don't know. It's a small sample size. We'll see how it goes. And then, like I said, Kingsley's 2 games in. So I mean, we'll give it a minute.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of I said this the other day on the live. When Kareem Hunt, signed with us yesterday and I went live, you were at work, obviously. But somehow it got brought up about Kingsley and I had went on and talked to Chief Concerns. We were talking there. I had a little talk with RGR. I think we're all on the same page. Like a lot of Chiefs Kingdom, there's a big chunk of Chiefs Kingdom that just they want to write Kingsley off already. It's weird. Like we thought it was strange when you wasn't giving Sky Moore 2 full years and they just give this guy 2 games. What's it going to be next? It's going to be like 2 weeks and they're going to be like done. So I think a lot of the all chiefed up crew, the ACU crew, a lot of normal ball knowers, we'll just say that, a lot of people that know ball know that you can't give up on a rookie. Especially think about this. Kingsley has been on an island. His first game and second game, by the way, he come out of BYU, Steve. This isn't a top-notch conference.
I mean, like I said, I'm not going to judge Kingsley until at least week 8. And then after that, we'll talk. But, I mean, he's got a lot to learn. I actually like the fact that he got his ass beat last week by Trey Hendrickson.
I think that may wake him up a little bit,
I think it's
right?
good. I don't think there's no waking him up. I think he's fully awake. But he's got a lot to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's brand new to this.
Well, as in waking up, though, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, well, maybe this NFL stuff isn't that hard, Well, wait till you go up against these top-tier pass rushers. Maybe not, but maybe, maybe he hasn't learned how to be a pro just yet. So maybe he takes a few reps off in practice. Or I'm not trying to say this, but I'm just saying I know how I was when I felt like we had an easier game on the schedule or I was going up against an inferior competition in practice. I'd let my, my stuff slip a little bit.
You don't think they told Kingsley all week that he was getting ready to get his ass beat?
Oh, I think he knew it was coming.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think so, too.
partially, watching him a little bit, I felt like even in the very beginning, I felt like he almost respected Hendrickson a little too much. I think they had him a little scared because there were times that he was in a good position and he just wouldn't shoot his hands properly.
Well,
he wouldn't stay on the block properly, and you noticed he kept grabbing him by the neck a lot. Look, Bengals fans have been screen grabbing that all week. Look at how many times he bear hugged him and screen, and the officials didn't call it and blah, blah, blah. I think the officials did do him a service. They really did. He probably could have got called for about 4 or 5 more holding calls on the day, and he kind of got away with it.
But when you're doing a rip move, it's going to look like that almost every time too. And Trey Hendrickson was definitely doing that. But another
ripping
thing
and
is,
the tearing.
Another thing is, Mike. I guess any of us, if we were in that position, once you take 5 to 10 snaps, and you realize this guy is better than me, completely. Like, he's stronger than me, he's faster than me.
Yeah,
he's been doing this a long time. Like, I'm in trouble. I think that's when you start to. He probably got a little nervous. He probably had that sinking feeling like this is going to be a long day. Probably didn't, like you said, he didn't stick to technique. He missed a few assignments. He wasn't thinking clearly. I mean, a lot comes into that, because, I mean, if you know you're going to get beat down all day and you're going to be hanging on by a thread, which I think he knew early. And I'll say this, I think he did pretty well in the first half, but he started falling apart quick when he got tired, bro.
Yeah, he did. Well, I had another one, if I can bring this one up too. Give me 1 second and I'll find this one. Let me bring this up because I just want to stick on our offensive line for just a few more seconds. If you follow us on X, you've probably seen some of this. I was just, I do a lot of research during the day and I'll throw it up. But here we go. Their offensive line through 2 games. If you can see, Kingsley's kind of sticking out like the sore thumb here. 5 pressures, 1 hurry, 2 hits, and 2 sacks.
Right.
Nobody else on the team's allowed a sack yet.
That's
now,
good.
Look,
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing. PFF says our offensive line has allowed 2 sacks, and that's both attributed to Kingsley. But Mahomes has taken 4 sacks. So you ask, where's that coming from? They've put 2 sacks on Mahomes. So in other words, Mahomes has escaped the pocket or ran right into somebody that was not beat. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so for example, if Creed's got somebody blocked pretty well and Mahomes kind of dances and gets a little shaky and comes up in the pocket and gets hit, then they don't attribute Creed with the sack, right? But he still has to be attributed with a sack. So I feel like Mahomes is dancing in the pocket a little more. I don't think he's trusting the offensive line right now. And a lot of this could really be Kingsley. Like, maybe he's really not trusting Kingsley. But if you look down the board, 2 pressures from Tooney, 1 from Creed, 3 from Trey Smith, 2 from Taylor. This is pretty good to this point, man. Like, there's only been 13 pressures on the season, which is pretty good. And only 3, 6, 7 hurries. That's it. But what I've noticed is that Mahomes is not converting. I don't know how to say this properly. He's only been pressured, say, for example, 13, 15 times, somewhere in that range. He's taken 4 sacks. Last year at this time, through the first 2 weeks of the season, Donovan Smith, by the way, was the left tackle. 31 pressures. He's only had 18
that's what I was going to say,
point.
Actually. There's a lot of people, ever since the game, call like, maybe we need to check and see what Donovan Smith's doing. Let's try and sign Donovan Smith. And it's like, do y'all not watch him last year? He wasn't good.
He looked bad in the Super Bowl. Go back and look at his numbers in the Super Bowl. That's why I think Veach and them went away from him.
Why would you want to go sign an old guy that's not good to replace a rookie that's learning?
Well, what is strange? What is strange, though, and the point I was getting at, Steven, maybe you can help me here, because I was genuinely racking my brain here. Mahomes has been pressured 18 times. He's been sacked 2 times. 2 of those sacks have come on his own volition because they have put those on him. But he's taken 4 sacks off 18 pressures. Last year, at this time, after 2 games, 31 pressures, and he'd only taken 1 sack. So why is he taking 3 more sacks on 13 less pressures this season? Is he not getting out of the pocket quick enough? Is he trying to stay in the pocket too much? Are the receivers not getting separation still? Like, what's going on? I'm not really being able to find a correlation here as to why this is happening. I don't want to say he turned 29 yesterday and he got old. I don't want to say that.
I just think there's a lot that goes into it. It's impossible to figure out. Like, right?
Maybe it is. But see, this is the kind of stuff I rack my brain on 24/7.
I don't know why you do, because I don't think there's really much of an explanation.
As if I could call up Patrick and be like, move your feet a little more, buddy.
Right. Now, I mean, here's the thing. I know I said this with Kingsley, but it goes for everybody. We're 2 games into the season, man. Like, I feel like people still trying to get their footing. Like, it's going to be a minute before everybody gets settled in. So, I mean, I can't take statistics from the first 2 weeks all that seriously, to be honest. I mean, look at who we were playing last week. Look at the Bengals, man. The last few years, they have been complete and utter ass in the first 2 weeks. They look like garbage. Joe Burrow looked like he didn't even know what a football was in the first 2 weeks for however long. But then by the end of the year, they're competitive, right? I mean, I just think it's just a typical thing that's a slow start.
And did the game last week not pan out exactly as we stated? They're going to come out and play one of the best games they're going to play all season. They're going to play the Chiefs tough. It's going to be a close game. I know you picked it to win by like 10 or something. You're always very optimistic. I almost hit the nail on the head. I said 26, and we put 26 on the board. I actually went back and watched that today, too. You know who I said was going to be the best defensive player on the field? Freaking George Karlaftis. And you know what? They took Chris Jones half sack today and give it to George.
I think Jamari Connor gets that honor. He had a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good day, but George did have 2 sacks, I think, is what he ended up with, right?
Yeah, something like that. Horned up with the
Georgia
5
Porge.
bomb. He says, horned up for a hot cup of Burrowhead. Not. Let's go. Another 5 bomb from Horned up. He says Tim Grunhard had some rough days in his rookie year. He got pulled at one point. Man, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how good you are. That's a big step. And I know I've brought this up a few times, but last year we had a guy that was a rookie, Kingsley Sewell, or not Kingsley, but what's his name? No, from Kentucky, Darian Kennard. He came on our show. He came on our show one time on a live, and I asked him, I'm like, what's the main thing, that you would take away from your rookie season? And he said, just how big of a gap there is between college and the NFL. And we're talking about a guy that was blocking SEC players all year long.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's just a massive gap, and it's more than I thought it would be. And it's a big learning curve. I think you got to keep that into account when we're talking about Kingsley. It's almost impossible to be talking about this kid 2 weeks in. I just do. So I think all rookies, it's going to take them a while to adjust. So I'm not worried about that one at all.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit,
Struggling
with it.
He'll get it. Here's what he don't need to do, though. He don't need to lose his confidence.
No, I think he just needs to keep grinding, man. Javier with the 20 bomb. Let's go, baby. Kareem Hunt. What about it, man? I got in the chat yesterday, Mike, when I had a second.
Okay.
I was just had to say, I really, over the years, it's been a hot topic, like Kareem Hunt coming back to the Chiefs. You see it every season. Let's go get Kareem Hunt. Let's go get Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that would never, ever happen in a million years. I thought the bridge was burnt because there were a lot of good opportunities for them to do such a thing, and they did not. So I kind of thought this was just done, over. And then out of the blue, here they are, man. So it didn't catch me off guard. It seems like a smart move for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's a guy that knows the offense. He played well in the offense. Maybe they can get his career kicking a little bit more. I mean, he's only 29 years old. He's still got some gas left in the tank. I mean, you see what Kamara has done the first 2 weeks of this season.
Yeah.
I think there's more left for Kareem Hunt. Maybe this could be, the marriage that makes it happen for both sides. But I didn't think I'd ever see it again. I really didn't.
Yeah, I think Kareem, and I said this on the live yesterday too, I don't think Kareem Hunt thought it was going to happen either. I think he really
I think
that's
he
another
thought it was
thing
over too, man.
I think there's a big chunk out of Chiefs Kingdom that I have noticed that they are just not, they don't want this guy back. They're just not with it. And I mean, rightfully so, maybe, if that's how you want to look at it. But I feel like a lot of people deserve second chances. People can change. People change every day. You either decide you want to change for the good or the bad, right? And I think Kareem Hunt, I feel like given this opportunity, look, he stayed relatively, I think he's been very clean off the field since that incident. That incident just kind of came out of nowhere as well. But I think he'll keep his head down and grind. I think he's going to cherish this opportunity. And I really think this week he will work hard this week. I don't know if he'll get to play. Maybe he might.
I don't know. But I was thinking about it, dude. It's it's kind of a storyline within a storyline. You got the Chiefs trying to make history. Literally the first team to ever three-peat. But then you got this little subplot over here. Kareem Hunt, who thought he had ruined his entire life basically by getting in trouble. You heard him during that arrest when he was in Cleveland talking about how it literally hurts him to his core that he should have been playing for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And those were, he should have been there. And I think he's always had that regret. And this is like a hell of a redemption story. What if he came back to the Chiefs and won his first Super Bowl as the Chiefs three-peated? I mean, that would be epic, right?
That'd be a great story, especially if he hangs on. And look, we're going to do a video tomorrow. We're going to throw out, all the news we've been able to find on Kareem, Pacheco, just everything. Pacheco had his surgery today. We're going to throw out just everything we can find there for you guys. But just to touch it a little bit, Andy kind of alluded that Pacheco might be out all season. Of course, they did discover that they don't think it is going to be like that because the surgery went well. But this probably doesn't put Pacheco back. I mean, I know they're saying 6 to 8 weeks, but you got to think about it. He's going to take time to rehabilitate. He's got to have time to get everything back in game shape. He may not be available to the playoffs. So Kareem's got a very good chance to come in and play a lot of snaps, a lot of meaningful snaps, and he can be a big part of this team. He can be a huge part of why we could three-peat, because there's a lot of people got to step up, man. There's a lot of people have to step up. Travis Kelsey included. There's a lot of them. They got to step up. Even Chris Jones, they've all got to take it to a new level at this point.
Sure.
Pacheco's a spark plug, man, but I appreciate the 20 bomb, Javier.
Heck yeah, Javier. Y'all put some legendaries in chat for Javier and horned up over there, baby. They're all horned up. They're ready to go. But yeah, I mean, we got the Falcons this coming week, so we'll get more into that matchup later on in the week, and then in the tailgate, of course, we'll talk a lot about it. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, we're going to talk about a couple more things that we think that the team could work on. But I feel like they're in a great position. I mean, you played two top teams, whether they played that way or not. That's what they were going into the season. A lot of people thought we could start the season off 0-2. Here we are sitting at 2-0. And not only are we 2-0, but it wasn't easy. Which, I mean, yeah, it sucked in the time that it happened for us to watch, and it was ugly and this and that, but like, I'll take those grind it out, figure out a way to win games through the season, because that's how you build character for the postseason. When you get there and everything's against you, everything's stacked against you, that's how they win games like the 13-second game against Buffalo. That's how they win games against, like the Super Bowl last year against the 49ers. And even the first one against the 49ers, they were, by all means, they were down and out before the last quarter. I think that's what it is, man. These kind of games throughout the season, they prepare them. And whether you're a rookie or getting your ass beat by Trey Hendrickson, or you're a vet like Kelsey who just hasn't put it together yet this season, I think it goes a long way.
Yeah, I do too. Somebody asked in the chat, I can't find who asked it, but they asked, going back to the Kingsley situation really quick, do the Falcons have any good pass rushers? So the one that's going to have his hands full all day is going to be the interior. They got to go up against Grady Jarrett and Eddie Goldman, who, by the way, are the two highest rated pass rushers on their team. Their edge rushers right now that are doing the most is Arnold Ebiketie, the edge, and then Matthew Judon, who come over, in free agency and different things. But the thing is Judon is only scoring. They're both actually only scoring a pass rush grade of a 58.6.
And when you put them, new to the team too,
right? So. And when you put them in a pass rush, a true pass set. So when the offense is in a true pass set and a straight drop back, no play action, no screen, no nothing, they're actually going down, which means that they're now only scoring at a 54 across the board. So they actually lost 4 points in a true pass set, which means that maybe Judon might have lost a step. Now, the thing is maybe he's just getting acclimated to a new system, because he still has 2 hurries, 2 sacks, and 4 total pressures on the season. So that's nothing to be shabby about. They already have 2 sacks. So he can get after the passer. So if Kingsley or Wanye, whoever plays, you are going to go against Matthew Judon, and then maybe Ebiketie slides over to that side every once in a while. So it's not going to be any easier this week.
What do you think the team's going to do, man? You think like Andy and them are going to be like, hey, we pulled Kingsley when we had to. Do they put him right back out there? Because that's what I would do. I think if that's what you plan going forward.
Shouldn't you?
Yes, I absolutely think so. You don't, like you said, you don't want to bust his confidence completely. But like he needs to keep getting that. Like that's the only way he's going to adjust and get better. We know he's the athlete to do the job, right? Like physically, strength wise, speed, everything. He's got all the tools. It's just putting it together. So if he has to get out there and get beat up a little bit, that's fine. I mean, you can always go back to Wanye if need be. I mean, they did it the other day, so it's a big deal. But I think you got to put him back out there and let him go.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think it does any good to not do it. I think it shows him that you have confidence in him. It shows him that he's taking a lot of accountability this week. I think that goes a long way.
Right.
Mahomes and Andy Reid have been very positive about it. Andy typically, if somebody drops the ball or they fumble, he'll go back to him pretty quick. So I think here there's no – I mean, I think if there had been another I don't know. I was going to say, I thought if there had been another drive, like maybe overtime, you may have seen him come out, but I don't think he would have actually. So I think in that situation, I think they were done for the day. So it wasn't like the whole, Carson Steele fumble earlier in the day where they put him right back in, but
right.
I feel like in the next game, they've got to start him.
I think so too. I think that's what they should do. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here tonight. Actually, if you don't care, hit that like button real quick. Help this get out to more people. We appreciate you guys. Also, if you're new to the channel, you love Chiefs content, you like football, hit that subscribe button. Hang out with us more often. Our crew of people are freaking awesome. A lot of knowledgeable, nice, and fun people in here. So do that. But what else do we got, man? So we covered the offensive line pretty thoroughly. So what's the next thing you think they need to be looking at improving?
Yeah, so one of the big ones, and I'm just going to say right now, I was wrong. You were wrong, I think. I know I was. I can't speak for you as what you said, but I was wrong, and I'm just going to say it straight up. I went back and watched that game again the other day, and we've been harping on linebackers and linebackers' coverage ability. Okay? And we're like, the linebackers have been a problem. They're not covering. The tight ends are running wild. I blame Nick Bolton. I said Nick Bolton flat out has stunk in coverage. I just want to say I apologize. He's not been that bad. So through 2 games, our highest coverage rated player is Trent McDuffie. Surprise, surprise, the Warden, right?
Right.
Number 2, the highest rated player in 55 pass snaps, and he's played 22 coverage snaps. So not as many coverage snaps as McDuffie, right? 100 to 22. But he's a linebacker. What do you expect? Leo Chenal, our boy. I say Chenal, but it's actually Chanel. I'm just going to look. I get tough. I don't want to call him like the Chanel bag.
Just
right?
think
but
like Chanel
right.
West Coast, like
right.
the girl from Ridiculousness.
Right. So Leo Chanel, 73.7. He is our second highest graded coverage person, which is insane to me. But when you take him off, 91 snaps in coverage, Nick Bolton, he is the 3rd highest rated coverage guy on our team.
Pretty wild, huh?
I didn't understand that, and it blew my mind today. And I said, what in the hell is going on here?
That's hilarious. I would have never thought that either, dude. Not at all. Old man's in the house with a 20 bomb.
Pops with a 20
Pops.
We were watching the games of Pops the other day, and we kind of talked about Bolton not covering, right?
Well, I think there were some breakdowns, right? Some of the bigger plays that you saw, broken plays, like especially in the Baltimore game, it might have been on Nick Bolton. But I just mean overall, though, I didn't think it was that good.
What's strange to me, okay, is that he's rated a 73 coverage grade. But when you look at what he's done, he's allowed 7 catches on 8 targets. They've went for 88 total yards. 55 of those after the catch, which a lot of that was contributed to Isaiah Likely. I think his was a 49-yarder. But I'm not understanding how he does rate so high as a coverage grade, allowing 87.5% reception and giving up almost 100 yards. But then I go back and I watch the game. So I went back and I watched some of the All-22. Nick Bolton was in a lot of good positions there, and just the scheme or the fact that we just wasn't putting a pass rush on, Joe Burrow or whatever it may be, he can't cover all day long. And it seems like a lot of it is scheme. It's a schematic thing, the way they're running routes, the way they're doing this and doing that. When Bolton's been lined up on somebody, he's actually been good. And to his credit, the guy he was covering has actually made, out of about those 7 catches, the guy he was covering actually, he was like stuck to glue on about 5 of those. And these were just like miraculous catches. So I wanted to apologize to Nick Bolton. I mean, I said he stunk at coverage, and apparently he's the 3rd highest graded cover guy on our team. I apologize. Yeah, you know, I don't know what else to say. You know who's the worst graded coverage guy on our team that's taken at least 20 coverage snaps?
No clue. Josh Williams.
Drew Tranquil.
Okay.
So we said Drew Tranquil was good.
Oh, so
and that Nick Bolton stunk.
never mind. I had that backwards. I thought you were saying he
and
was
they're
bad.
completely backwards. Drew Tranquil has scored a 44.2. And he's just looked horrible in his 60 coverage snaps. So I wanted to go back and watch that one too. And I said, what's going on with Drew Tranquil? And I go back and look, and yeah, he's struggling. Like, he is struggling. Every time he is in pass coverage, Drew Tranquil is struggling. And he's supposed to be the guy that was supposed to come in and replace the Willie Gay.
Yep.
It's just odd to me that the perception when watching it in game time is that Drew Tranquil's playing lights out in coverage and that Nick's struggling. And then you break it down and you go back and you really watch it for what it is, and you watch the play, you watch the design, you watch everything about it, and it's really not that at all. It just shows how weird football is. And when you're watching it, you know, when you're watching it just with what they show you on TV, and you're not seeing a whole field and you're not understanding all the plays, it's wild some of the perceptions you can come up with. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all put some legendaries in the chat for Pops, the old man.
Pops.
Yeah, man.
Hey, why in the world is Pops up at 10:07 p.m.?
It's past your bedtime.
It's past his bedtime. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, you should have fell asleep in your chair by now.
Pop should have been asleep 3 hours ago.
But no, man. I think, like I said, it's really tough to get like too statistical early on. It's 2 games in, so many different things. I don't know. The defense as a whole, Spags every year, like his scheme is elaborate and there's a lot to it, and they have new players, new pieces, doing different things sometimes, and I think it just takes a minute for them to get into the groove. So I haven't seen anything so far that I've thought was like a problem that's going to persist all season long. Like, I'm just like, I see little things here and there, but it's like I think everything's going to be gelling, you know, by week 8, and we'll be okay, you know.
Who did we say when they were drafted was probably going to be the heir apparent to L'Jarius Sneed?
I don't know. I was thinking Josh Williams could get there just off of size and speed. But you're talking about Shamari Connor.
Shamari
Yes.
was the one. And what he do? He's a safety, kind of went to corner.
Right. Well, I thought that's why they drafted him when they
guess
did.
who's leading the team in missed tackles, just like Sneed? Shamari
Well, that's
Connor.
the way he plays, man. He flies around 100 miles
Yeah,
an
exactly.
hour.
But
Yeah.
Shamari's got 5 missed tackles. Nick Bolton's got 2. Brian Cook's got 2. Tranquil's got 2. Tranquil's only got 1 missed tackle. Hold up. No, Tranquil does have 2. Yeah, so Tranquil's got 2. So not a lot of missed tackles on the team so far. Only 18 total as a team. I would have thought maybe Justin Reed had more than he does, but he's only got 1. So I don't know. I think like we can all agree though that the Chiefs have to get better defending the tight end. You're getting ready to play Kyle Pitts. And again, I had this conversation the other day. Every time we play somebody and they've always struggled throughout their career, they come against the Chiefs and they have a career day, right? Let's hope this is not Kyle Pitts' coming out party, right? Like, we don't want that. We don't want Kyle Pitts to put up 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So linebackers have to do a little bit better in coverage. I'm talking to you, Drew Tranquil, not Nick Bolton, surprisingly.
He'll be fine. I think Drew's normally pretty decent coverage. I would have to go back and look at, you know, last year's stats and PFF scores and things like that and kind of see what he did. But I think he's normally okay. So I think he'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, last year, I can bring that up for you really quick. Last year, Leo Chenal was a 61.1
Chanel,
coverage.
baby.
Chanel, my bad. Leo was a 61.1 in coverage. And let me see. Drew Tranquil was a 66.9. So Drew actually did cover pretty well last year. He had 369 coverage snaps last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, he didn't really allow too much. He allowed 300 yards on 37 catches.
Yeah.
No touchdowns.
David Howe says the lesson is to just enjoy the game while you watch it. Don't be too critical of the players. I dig it. I think so, like especially people in the position like me and Mike, it's so hard to sit back and relax and enjoy a game like we did, 4 years ago or whatever. It's different now because you're kind of looking at different things and even if you're not looking at being critical of a player, but you're still looking for what's the storyline, like what's this, what's that, like it's different. But I think that's the thing, like. Just enjoy it when you watch it. Then we always go back and rewatch games and watch all 22 and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's when you can really start figuring out what the problems were. But it's just so hard not to notice certain things,
Yeah. Well, especially when your eyes deceive you in real time, right?
Right.
One other thing this isn't nothing to do with this, but it kind of goes in with coverage. One thing I kind of want to say that to this point, we're wrong. 100% we're wrong, and I can say it again. I was wrong about Nick Bolton, and so far we've been wrong about cornerback too. I think Jalen Watson is cornerback too. I seen a chart today where he's one of the top 20 highest grade in separation, not allowing separation, not allowing catches. I think he's clear-cut number 2 right now. I don't think Josh Williams stepped up, and I think he's got all the tools, and we thought he could do it, but mentally, physically, I think he's behind Jalen Watson, and it's shown to this point. And I think it's Jalen Watson's cornerback 2 job for the foreseeable future, unless Josh Williams goes crazy. And Josh Williams did score higher than him in week 1, but in week 2, Josh Williams crapped the bed, and he was one of the lowest scoring guys in the league. I think he was like a 42. So he's not being consistent, whereas at least when healthy, Jalen Watson is consistent. And so I will say we were wrong. I don't think Josh Williams is cornerback 2 right now. It is Jalen Watson's job, and it will be for the foreseeable future.
I do agree with that. But while we're saying that, I think that it goes along with how he's being used. I think anyone that gets to be out there more and gets to get in a groove and gets to get comfortable is going to play a little bit better.
That's also true. Yeah, that can be true as well.
So it's kind of like the receivers were last year when they couldn't keep them on the field. It was constantly swapping them out. Now you're just seeing Josh Williams in certain packages, stuff like that. It's a little bit different when you come in cold off the sideline and other guys have been out there playing. So, I mean, I get it.
Right.
But right now, I'm with you. I think Jalen Watson's playing better, and I think it's definitely his spot for now. I did find it weird that they had Najee Johnson out there so much last week. Because I will say, just from camp and maybe some preseason, I don't know if he would have been my second option. So, I don't know. Guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know about that one, but it is what it is.
A good, fundamentally sound corner, for real. I mean, he does well. He's fast. He does what he's supposed to do, but he hadn't looked all that great, to be honest. He's been getting cooked a little, so... I don't know. I thought it was interesting. He didn't play bad, though. I didn't think Najee
No, he didn't play
played
bad.
by the way.
He gave up a touchdown there when Yoshivas drug his toes there.
Is
which
that how
I
you
didn't
say
know.
that guy's name?
Yeah. I didn't think he actually
Is he
had
Russian
it.
or something?
I don't know. I didn't think he had that second toe down, but then when I went back and watched it in super slow-mo, he did get it down. I mean,
I don't know if the ball... Look, I think Pops might have been right. Pops saw this in real time, and I saw where somebody had either messaged or commented or emailed something today, and they were like, hey, went back, watched that touchdown, and I don't think it was a touchdown. They said he got his toes in, but the ball never crossed the plane.
Good point.
And Pop said that in real time. He was like, I don't know if that ball crossed the plane.
I wasn't really watching that. I was just focused on the toe drag, right?
I'm interested in going back and looking at that now because not only did Pops make that comment, and we didn't talk about it at the time, but I remember him saying it. But then I saw that email, and I was like, maybe it really wasn't. I don't know. We'll have to go back and look.
Well, okay. I do have an idea. There's a team photographer. She goes by Short Little Kid. Okay, she's a photojournalist. She does some work with the Chiefs. Her name's Emily. She snapped a really, really good picture of and I'll bring this up. Let's bring it up and see if you can see from this.
It's going to have to be the perfect angle, though,
That's what I'm saying. Is this angle good enough to tell or not? There's the angle. That ball looks like it's over the goal line right there from that angle.
It's kind of impossible.
That's a tough angle. But
he did fall completely forward from there.
Yeah, what a heck of
That's probably about as far as it went over the plane, if it did.
You're right. But see, the nose of the football just got to touch the front.
Right. So, I mean, probably, dude, you have to think there's a line
picture,
judge there. They're right down the line. So.
That daggone good, right?
Look
at that one.
There's guys right there on that goal line. So, I mean, I think probably they saw that it did. So,
yeah.
That'd be my
shout
guess.
out Emily. Those are some nice pictures. You almost solved the debate.
Almost solved it. Peace. Swizzle with the 2 bombs says this is by far the best Chiefs podcast for that ass. Hey, Mike, we got another good comment the other day where somebody's like, do you really have to do
didn't.
I swear. I was like, you really have to make a punchline that says for that ass. That's stupid. It's like, well, obviously you shouldn't be here. So go on.
I can't figure out why it's such a big deal.
It's not. It's only for like 2 people ever. But it's just funny there's those people out there. Like they hate it so much they can't even enjoy anything else, like nope.
Like it ruined their whole spirit.
Gotta turn it off. Shout out
crazy.
TGZ with a 2 bomb. He says, how's Christensen in coverage? He signed to 53. Yeah, also Keontae Ingram signed to the 53-man roster. Did you see that, Mike?
Yes, I did. That's who I said would be the first one called up. I actually thought he would be called up before Kareem Hunt.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I knew he would probably get the initial call up over Kareem, too. A lot of people thought Kareem was just going to come in and sign to the 53.
He hasn't even played. When's the last time he played football? He wasn't on the team last year in Cleveland, was he?
Was he not? I was thinking he played a
No,
little bit
because
last
when
year.
Nick Chubb went down last year, it was the Jerome Ford show. But 2 years ago when he went down, it was Kareem Hunt show. So I don't think Kareem even played last year. I don't know.
Well, to answer your question, Cole Christensen has never played a snap, of coverage. So I'll have to go to preseason. And preseason,
That's weird.
It's not looking good.
So he's never in his entire career played a coverage snap in a regular season NFL game?
I don't think so. Let me
That's
go back to
crazy,
2023. By the way, he scores a 34 pass coverage grade. That's what he's scored in the preseason off of 30 coverage attempts. No. He didn't play one in 2023. He hasn't played nothing in 2024, obviously. So let's just go to 2024. Let's go to the earliest preseason. Cole Christian, he scores a 34.6. He's allowed 4 catches on 6 targets, 36 yards. No touchdowns, and only 5 yards after the catch. But a 34.6. Now, the funny thing is you would say, how in the world is he 4 for 6, 36 yards, and only 5 yak yards, and they score him a 34.6, and Bolton's allowing 10 out of 12 for 88, and he gets a 69 or 79 or something like that. It is very odd how it's scored, but the metric is used across the board. And that's what some people don't get, because they're like, PFF sucks. And I'm like, yes, but PFF scores the same metric for every person. So at least, even if it does suck and there's got flaws, it's still comparable to other people. Does that make any sense?
No.
It's a comparable tool.
I just said no to see if you'd say something, but you didn't. You let me do it. No, I think I know what you're saying.
I'm always expecting you to be an ass. So, I mean, I just kind of roll with it.
Just go with it. Shout out Dan Alzheimer with some gas here, baby. He says you guys are great, growing so fast. Appreciate you, my man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Kyle says that Cleveland. He was on Cleveland last year until he got a hernia injury and needed surgery. So apparently Kareem was out last
He
year.
had that hernia surgery, huh?
He had 9 touchdowns though, according to Bam. So I mean, I guess he did play last year.
Dude, hernia stuff is so weird. Like, I know a dude who had a hernia, and it's just like a little thing pops out of your stomach, and then you realize it's your intestines.
That's weird, ain't it?
It's so weird. And then when they go in, they just do like a little mesh or something. It's just strange that your intestines can just pop out of your stomach. What are we? This is a new an irrational fear that unlocks.
Irrational fear. Yeah.
It's an irrational fear that unlocks every day. There's a new one.
Hey, shout out D-Lo with the 2 bomb. We appreciate the support, brother. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But I didn't know he was in. I didn't know he's come off injury, so maybe that plays a part into it too. I did read that they said he was in good shape, but it would take a few weeks for him to be in football shape.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably why he's on the practice squad. But I do fully expect to see Kareem Hunt have some role in this offense within 4 weeks.
If not this week, I think he could get some snaps next week. I think he will play before the bye week.
Oh, he's on the practice squad.
Right. I think he plays before the bye week.
So he's not
They can
getting
still call him up
snaps this week. I don't know.
They can call him up.
I guess they could, but we'll see. They haven't had any indications that they are going to. So I think them calling up Keontae Ingram might be what they're going to go with there. 2-bomb from Ruthless Monk. He says fans overreacting to Worthy not getting the ball. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think if you haven't learned anything from Andy Reid's offense, it's like it doesn't matter who you are. You're not going to get like 80% of the targets. You're not guaranteed anything in this offense. I think that's why a lot of guys struggle in our offense, i.e. Sky Moore. He's more of a volume catcher. Let him work after he catches the ball. He's not a splash play guy. That's why I think Xavier Worthy is actually going to be able to work in this offense, because I think Xavier Worthy can change a game and produce with limited targets.
Right.
Like, he's a big play guy. So, like, if he only gets 3 targets a game, there's still a chance that 1 or 2 of them is a touchdown catch. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. I think he will be worked into the offense more. And then, of course, the more him and Mahomes are on the same page, the more Mahomes has confidence in him and the more Mahomes looks for him.
Right.
That'll go up. I mean, you have to think, like, Tyreek Hill, there hasn't really been a receiver like Tyreek Hill for Mahomes since, where Mahomes actually actively looked for him like he does Kelsey. We've noticed in the first 2 weeks, that could be why Mahomes looked so bad sometimes last week, was because he was literally eyeballing Kelsey. Like, he's in such a habit of just like, I ain't got nobody to throw to. Let me see what Kelsey's doing. I feel like it's a mental thing Mahomes has to get out of too.
Yeah. Worthy's had seven targets on the season. He's got 4 out of 7. If you divide the field up in quadrants of 4, right? So you'll say behind the line of scrimmage, left, middle, right. And then 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and 20 and beyond. And you go left, middle, right. And you look at that as like a big tic-tac-toe board with 12 sections. Where do you think Xavier Worthy is the most dangerous this season so far? Barring up take out that outside, that long touchdown pass that he connected with Mahomes in week 1. Take that out. That's 1 reception. So on the other 3 receptions, where do you think he's the most used and where he's like killing everybody? And it's very weird to me. Line of scrimmage.
Screen game? Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Line of scrimmage and under 10 yards in the dead center of the field. Who would have ever thought a guy that is supposed to not be physical, he's not supposed to be able to get off press, and he's doing his damage in the dead center of the field, only a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage, in front of the linebackers, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's got to be mesh routes. It's got to be little like slants and things like that, I would think. But yeah, he's only taken two shots down the field to Xavier Worthy so far.
Yeah, we heard all off season from, well, that was very underthrown. If he would have put it where it was supposed to be, there's a chance it got caught. Now, would he have broke it for a touchdown or anything? Probably not, because Cam Taylor-Britt was on his hip. But it was just poorly a thrown ball, just underthrown. But no, all off-season, Mike, that was the narrative for Andy Reid, was we're going to push the ball, push the ball, push the ball. You even saw at camp, he would tell Patrick Mahomes, hey, push the ball, push the ball. You had Mahomes at press conferences saying Andy was actively, challenging him, like, hey, get the ball down the field. It's kind of odd that they've only done it twice, really. Now, that shot to Rashee Rice, obviously, that was the kind of thing they're probably going to be looking at. I think we saw another one with Isaiah Pacheco that he dropped. Like that those kind of plays, I think is what they're trying to do. And that's exciting about Kareem Hunt to me, because if you remember, Kareem Hunt was not only a great running back, but he was a great receiving back when he was with the Chiefs. There were so many deep passes that went to Kareem Hunt. Yeah. It was insane. So if we can get him in game shape, we get him back in, we get him fitting back in this offense a little bit, I think that he has a lot of different things about him that can help this team. And him and Mahomes always had great chemistry from the get-go. And I'm sure they've kept in touch over the years. I'm sure they're still friends. So, I mean, I'm sure there's still a connection there somewhat. I don't see how that just disappears. So I do think that once he gets in, gets healthy, gets acclimated, I think Kareem Hunt we might spark his career back a little bit. I'm really hoping it's not one of those guys where we just sign him and we don't ever use him, he don't ever do anything, and it's just like what everybody's hoping for. I hope they really can get him back in there and make him useful.
Yeah, which he says, do we see more Juju? I don't know if we will.
They've been using him sparingly so
very
far.
sparingly. Juju has only ran. He's got one target. That's it. That's literally one target. It's that one he dropped at the goal line. During all of his pass running routes, though, he's not scoring horribly. He's scoring at a 60 across. He's doing his work under 10 yards, which we all knew was going to happen. But Mahomes is yet to connect with him. Mahomes isn't connecting with too many people in that intermediate under 10 yards, except for Xavier Worthy. He's had 3 passes to Kelsey in the center of the field between the numbers, a 36.5, and just flat out horrible. He's been picked off twice over the middle of the field. Mahomes isn't looking good over the middle of the field this year. I don't know
Let's
what
be honest.
the
Mahomes
difference is.
does not look good yet. We've kind of seen McClone's so far. So.
But again, we called this out tonight. He's not got a clean pocket. I mean, that's a big one. He's not had too clean of a pocket. So, and again, you're getting the Bengals, who's always a thorn in his side a little bit. They're a little kryptonite, I think at this point you can kind of say that. How many more games does he have to play really bad against the Bengals before you can kind of admit it a little bit?
Right. Well, once again, just want to say I appreciate you guys for being here. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do that for us. It just takes a second. If you're new to the channel, you should subscribe, hang out more often. We got a great group of people in the chat. It's always a good time in here. We're sitting at 99 likes right now. Let's see if we can go ahead and get that up to 150. Let's do 150. We'll give away a poster. So do that, and then if we get to 200, we'll give away another one, which it'll just be a signed scheduled poster. So let's do that. Hit that like button if you haven't. But yeah, Mike, let's go ahead and let's take this 10 bomb from freaking Perry. Let's go, Perry.
Let's go, baby.
He says, do you think not having a veteran like Hollywood in a tight game is a big missing element? Like, I dare you to beat me with a rookie in its second year. I think there's something to that, but I think when you have Travis Kelce, it's hard for them to lock down a receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Kelsey's going to get all the attention regardless. And then if they were to, like, say Kelsey has 2 more games like he's had the last 2, they still can't take their attention off of him because then he's going to burn them.
Right.
So it's like, I don't think that'll be a huge deal, Perry. And it looks like to me that Rashee Rice is like somebody you can depend on already. So
Rashee Rice he's one of the top scoring wide receivers in football through 2 weeks. He's just flat out crushed it.
I mean, since week 8 last year, week 9, 10, I can't remember exactly when it kicked off, but ever since then, he's been solid as hell. Like, consistent, reliable. Like, I think we can rely on him. So, appreciate the 10 bomb, Perry.
Look, so I think Perry, appreciate the 10 bomb. And you kind of sparked this idea for me about missing veterans and this and that. I feel like we've missed Travis Kelce a lot this season so far. But look, when you go back to last season, he didn't play week 1 and week 2. They kind of eased him in a little bit. Okay. Right. So it's not that crazy to say that he's just going to start a little slow. But how many yards has he lost to penalties so far? Like, they've literally taken a big chunk play off the board in each game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
at least 20 to 30.
I know the last game they did.
So if you put those back in, maybe he looks more normal. But yeah, Kelsey is I'm not concerned genuinely about Travis Kelce or anything, but it is kind of alarming that over the last 11 regular season games, he's just really not producing very much. And again, people's going to say, well, the postseason, that's when it counts. But postseasons are not always guaranteed. Maybe we make it feel like that.
Right. We're so spoiled.
Yeah, we're so spoiled that it's tough to miss the post. Like, you got to try hard to miss a postseason with us. Just considering our, the AFC West is all in rebuild mode.
Well, I think 2 things can be true at one time, and kind of calling Kelsey like a shell of his former self, that's kind of too much, right? I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's what he is. But you do have to come to grips with the fact that he is not 100% that guy he used to be 4 or 5 years ago.
You think this is his week, though? Do you think this is his week?
I think so. I mean, any given week, Kelsey's going to get this thing rolling, right? I mean, he's too smart. Like, even if he's not 100% physically like he used to be, he's even smarter than he used to be. And that's what Kelsey's always been, is just a savvy wide receiver playing tight end, right? Like, he knows where to be at. He knows how to move when Patrick's scrambling. He just knows how to get open. And I think it's just a matter of time. Of course, these defenses are going to double team him and lock in on him and make his life miserable if they can.
Yeah.
But Kelsey is a smart player. So is he what he was a few years back physically? Probably not. But is he that player? I still think he's that player, man. So it's just a matter of time.
Right. Well, look, I think he's going to get it back this week. But I appreciate the 10-bomb Perry. You're awesome. We'll get to the other chat in just a second, Steve. But I wanted to say this about Mahomes. I think this is the week Travis Kelce can get over the hump. And why? Is because I think Mahomes even comes out of his slump a little bit here. Mahomes is not looking too great, right? Like, I want to say this game against the Bengals may have been the worst statistical game of his career. I know it was the lowest passing total he's had since he played Green
every
Bay
time we play the Bengals, he has a new career bad game, right?
They really scheme him very well. I think they scheme him well, and I think it's something about their pass rush where they don't have to blitz him. They literally send the front four, and they get pressure because of Hendrickson. He's so good. He's got tons of pressure on him. They usually come up the middle. They used to come up the middle with Geno Atkins. They've always got a pretty good front four, and they always play some kind of a weird shell or they do something to confuse them. And Mahomes just always struggles against that coordinator and the Bengals. But
he does.
But in a dome, and this is where we're getting ready to go, to the Mercedes-Benz Dome, Steve. In a dome in Patrick Mahomes' career, 3,660 passing yards, 28 touchdowns to only 3 picks, and he is 12-0, including the playoffs in all those games in a dome. This is the week,
baby,
that Mahomes and the turf and Xavier Worthy and Kelsey gets it together, and I think everything just kind of clicks a little bit. And I think, and look, I say this, and when it comes prediction time, I'm going to put the Chiefs maybe about like 2-point favorites, but this could be a week that the Chiefs offense could figure it out a little bit and maybe start putting some points on the board.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I think you're right. It'd be what better week than this week, right? But we got a couple of super chats we're going to get to, and then, Mike, we'll go on and go to the next thing that you think that the Chiefs probably need to be working on. We got one more, right?
Yeah, there's one more, and it's
a big one. Some will
agree, some might not.
I still think it's a big one. But let's go ahead and get to these. Man, we got a 5-bomb from, Horned Up.
Let's go.
It's all horned up, baby.
That's a good one.
He said, they underestimate the Falcons. So I think, I don't know. I don't know if they ever actually underestimate a team, but I feel like they do come out too lackadaisical sometimes. And they did it again against the Bengals. That's another thing. It's the Bengals. It seems like they always come out with no intensity. Like someone forced them out of bed and made them play football that day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. This is a nighttime game, though. They're usually a little bit more pumped for the Sunday night football games. I don't think they overlook them, though, Steve. Do you?
I don't. I don't think you can. I mean, look what happened last week. I mean, it was the Eagles. I mean, they had them dead to rights. And
yeah. This is
Falcons
a battle of
won the game there.
This is a battle of the Netflix QBs. This is bragging rights.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different little interesting matchups, which we'll get into more later on this week. But I mean, you have to think about things. We've been talking about the corners and some of our corners, be it Jalen Watson, Josh Williams, whoever, Najee Johnson. This is a team that they have some decent wide receivers on this team. They got Drake London. He's a big target. He's good. Now he's not the most consistent person in the world, but he's good. They have Darnell Mooney. Yeah. And of course they were going to have Rondell Moore, but he's out for the season.
Right. They got Ray McLeod running that row
right
now.
So they got a couple of decent receivers, and then they also have Kyle Pitts. And we've been talking about getting killed by tight ends for the first 2 weeks. Well, Steve, Kyle Pitts is more talented than the other guys combined.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't counting Bijan Robinson and how they're going to leak him out of the backfield.
Exactly. So there's there's going to be a lot for us to talk about this week, but I don't think they'll underestimate them. I don't. But appreciate the 5.
I don't either, but I do think that the Chiefs' defense, I I think the Chiefs defense is getting progressively better.
They
I
will.
think Spags pulled out a lot of weird, that when Shamari Connor got home against Joe Burrow in that game the other day, that was a very well crafted play by Spags. And so Spags is already digging in deep. But I think this is a game. If the defense doesn't take it seriously, yeah, Kirk Cousins can gas you a little bit, and they've got some playmakers.
Yeah, they're a good young team with a veteran quarterback that just plays smart. So, I mean, Kirk's had his moments where he don't look that great, but for the most part, he's a decent quarterback. Gray Skull with a 2-bomb says, besides picks, Mahomes threw a couple in the dirt. Why? So there's one in particular he threw straight into the dirt. And I saw a lot of like people making fun of Tony Romo this week, being like, oh, he's just glazing Mahomes and all this stuff. But no, Romo even made the point during the game. Mahomes threw one in the dirt. And it looked like he was going towards the receiver, but he just threw it in the dirt. He wasn't actually trying to complete the pass.
I think it was Kelsey.
And Romo was like, they were making fun of him because Romo said, that's Mahomes being smart. That's what he needed to do. Throw it in the dirt. Don't throw anything out there to get picked. That's a winning play right there. That's what winners do. And I think he's right to a certain degree. I think Mahomes saw, like, Mahomes is really bad at taking certain risks sometimes, and we see that. For some reason, he loses linebackers in the middle of the field all the time and stuff. Like, he'll throw into triple coverage sometimes and get intercepted. And it's like, I think Mahomes, as he matures now, I mean, he's been in the league for a while now. It's like 7 years. I think he's starting to, you gotta be a little smarter sometimes, and sometimes you just minimize the damage, right, and go on.
Yeah, he threw that ball in the dirt. Did he mean to, or was it like a subconscious thing? I don't know. He could have been one of those things where he's seen the guy closing a little too quick, maybe quicker than he anticipated. So maybe he tried to adjust his release. Maybe he's trying to throw it a little low and it just hit the dirt. But the sentiment by Tony Romo was, you don't try to force that ball in there, and that's why he did that. He's either trying to let up on the throw, it hits the dirt. He puts it in the dirt on purpose. He throws it too low, it hits the dirt. Either way, it got into the dirt. It didn't get into the hand of the DB. That's what you had to look for. I think It was a smart play. That's why he's doing it. And a lot of it is, again, I don't think him and Kelsey are on the same page a lot. I do know that pick last week, him and Kelsey were not on the same page. Kelsey ran a different route than he threw.
Right. Let's get this one real quick, and we'll move on to that next point. But Sarah over on X, we appreciate you watching on X. If you guys are watching on X, repost this bad boy. Get that out there. We're trying to get more of a crowd over there. So do us a favor with that. But she says Travis on his podcast today recognized his performance and all the chatter. He said he knows what he has to do. I also read that too, that, Kelsey had basically said he it's not lost on him that he has underperformed in the first 2 weeks. So,
right.
Like I said, he's a smart player. He's the best tight end to ever play. He's going to be fine.
I don't think it's a lot of people, Steve, want to contribute it to off the field stuff. I just think Travis is smarter, and the game means more to him than people are giving him credit for when they say that there's distractions. And
well, I think that
in the off season that comes and goes, right? But I think he's completely focused.
I don't know. I want to agree with you, but then again, by what he said, I think maybe there could be a little bit of truth to it, because he said that he needed to work on these things and focus on these things that he had basically not got prepared enough. So I wonder if that's him admitting, I got to focus in, get prepared, like do what I got to do.
You think that, or do you think maybe a little conditioning?
It could be this and that, but I mean, let's be honest here. He's got his hand in a little bit of everything these days. He is spread pretty thin. So it would not surprise me a bit if he'd put a little less work into football this offseason than he had prior. So, I mean, he's getting to a point to where, I think Kelsey has other aspirations in life, and I know he loves football. He loves the game. He's always said he won't play if he don't want to. If he don't love it, he's not going to do it. That's when he'll retire. But I think he's definitely got other things in mind. He's got a lot on his plate. So, but he can recognize that. He can have some self-awareness and be like, hey, I know what I got to do here.
He's thinking about, he's thinking about that Happy Gilmore 2.
Right. I've been thinking about that. I was thinking about that today. When's that bad boy coming out?
I don't know. I don't even know if they started filming.
Let's go, Sarah.
Has he filmed his show for FX?
Yeah, man, it's already been filmed. I think it's going to come out, like Grotesquerie.
Yeah, see, I feel like maybe he just hasn't been able to put a lot of time into...
He's been busy, that's what I'm saying.
Probably like his workout routine.
And Kelsey don't seem like a type to bullshit you. I think he's got some self-awareness, and he'll be like, hey, My
Yeah.
bad.
I mean,
let me
but with that
get
being
this.
said, the self-aware people are the ones that will change it.
Exactly. That's what
He's
I'm
not
saying.
denying it. Yeah.
Totally agree. But Mike, let's go ahead and move on to the other point real quick. By the way, just before we do that, I keep saying that, but we're at 131 likes. Get to 150, we'll give away a signed poster.
Yeah, we'll do that for you guys.
So make sure you get those likes in if you have not. But yeah, let's go to the third point. And I think what you were going to bring up, Mike, and it's something that I've noticed too. I think the edge rushers in particular, but we'll say pass rush as a whole. But what I've seen, Mike, is I see a lot of guys in the backfield, like Chris Jones, looks like he's been living in the backfield. We haven't seen him cash in just too much, and I thought it's been pretty lackluster play from the edges. So what do you have to say about that?
That's the third thing is, and a lot of people may not agree, but I don't think our pass rush, predictably, has looked all that great. I think they give Burrow way too much time in the pocket. Now, I know that Lamar Jackson in week one's he's tough to bring down, right? It's hard to fault you there. But because I do believe they were chasing Lamar all day. I really do. Like, they were there. They didn't close the gap. Cool. That's tough to do. But against Burrow's a sitting duck half the time, and there just was not a lot of huge pressure on him. Another chart, because this is what we live off over, these beautiful charts where people do good work.
Mike's just got you're going to have a pie chart next.
Steve, the average time to pressure, okay, so the higher you get on the screen, the top of the screen means you get to the QB really fast. Look up there in the top right corner.
Please,
Trey Hendrickson.
Can I just point this out? This is what I was saying by small sample size, because of that mismatch, Kingsley's on the bottom left of his chart, and Trey Hendrickson's on the top right of his chart. Right. You know?
But still, you see Trey Hendrickson up there. That's where you want to be, the top right quadrant again. Right. So it's average time per pressure to pressure percentage. And look at Mike Dana. He's hanging out by himself all the way to the left. There is not another pass rusher in football besides DeMarcus Walker from the Chicago Bears guys getting lower pressure percentage. Mike Dana has only got 2% pressure percentage. So on 2% of his snaps has he been able to put pressure on. And his average time to do it is over 3.25 seconds.
If you're that far away from Clell and Farrell, there's some work to do.
So he's taking 3.25 seconds to even put pressure on his 2% of pressures. So Mike Dana struggling with it, okay?
Struggling with it.
Look down here to the bottom. You do see Preston Smith. Now, that's a name you wouldn't expect there. But George is right behind him. George is the slowest average time to pressure in football behind Harold Landry and Preston Smith through 2 weeks. It's taken him almost 4 seconds to get pressure on the quarterback, and he's only getting pressure on 10% of his snap reps. So there's your two defensive ends, Mike Dana and George Karlaftis. There's your starters, and look how slow they're only winning 10% and 2% of their reps, and they are taking just till Christmas time to get to the quarterback, and you're seeing it. Now, if you look all the way to the right, Chris Jones winning a lot of his pressure percentage. He's up above 20%, so he's winning 1 out of every 5 reps, right? He's still not getting to the QB super fast. It's about 3.25 seconds, the same as Dana. He's actually a little slower than Dana, to be honest, which is another reason. Again, it's kind of odd. It is weird that Micah Parsons is below him on that. So Micah Parsons isn't even getting to the quarterback. Apparently everybody needed some extra time. So when they say the preseason is not important, I think they're wrong there. But yeah, I think this just shows,
100%, by the way.
Again, small sample size, but doesn't it kind of show that our pass rush has been kind of non-existent through 2 weeks?
Absolutely. And I think there were some big names on there that aren't doing too well either, like Zadarius Smith. You got Odafe Owe. You got some bigger names, Gregory Rousseau. I mean, you see a lot of guys, Trayvon Walker. They're not doing great. But like you said, small sample size. But that's all we have to go off of, right? So in the first 2 weeks, Mike Dan ain't getting it done. George ain't getting it done. And that's our two main edge rushers right now. Could you imagine if he had played enough to be on this chart where Felix would be?
Right.
Preston Smith would probably send him a thank you letter in the mail.
He probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, George did get 2 sacks, but I think that goes to show you how long Burrow was holding the ball. Burrow was being able to hold the ball a long time in the pocket the other day. And that's how he got 2 of his touchdowns. The Najee Johnson got beat because he had too much. Josh Williams got beat, too much time in the pocket. Just wasn't no pass rush there. For the majority of the day, he finds the rookie Burton on that deep pass down the left side. No time. Like he had all day to throw it. So it's just one of those things, man. I think like that's got to be the third thing. Like our pass rush has got to get it together. Our linebacker play, not necessarily. Drew needs to get a little better in coverage, and I think the other guy that needs to get better in coverage is Justin Reed. And again, Justin Reed could be because he missed all the preseason again. I think, and see, even Chris Jones. So I think a lot of these guys that are not really coming around and playing a lot in the preseason, it does take time to get in football game shape. It's just so weird how they don't want to play anymore in the preseason. So, but it kind of sets you back 3-4 games.
There's a correlation to that for sure. I think people that don't play any in the preseason, whether it's just a couple drives, like I think it does set you behind. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. But that's the 3. That's the 3. Let us know in the chat. Do you agree with it or not? Do you think there's something we missed? Did we miss something? Honestly, I could have put receivers on there. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, Rashee Rice looks good. Nobody else on this team is getting any separation. Steve, Sky Moore, by the way, this guy is the lowest offensive rated scoring person on the Chiefs. He's scoring a 42 in his limited snaps. So Sky's decided he don't want to play anymore either. So look, he's already quit. They should have just booted him off the team, I guess. He don't even want to play. None of these guys want to do anything. Like when they're getting their opportunity, I know that it's limited, but don't you got to be better than this?
Yeah, I agree. You just have to be better. We got a 2-bomb from Horned Up. He says, Mike, next do a Venn diagram. He even corrected it with another 2-bomb. Venn diagram.
A Venn.
Mike, get your Venn diagram ready.
Hey, man. Look, I like those diagrams, though, because they show you the entire league.
Yeah, it kind of
gives comparative.
Exactly.
It's kind of a cool thing. Like, you don't have to just go through every individual thing. You get to, like, look at it right there. So, whoever done that, again, I think it was Account Stats or something. Good work, actually. I don't think I'd have the time and patience to go through and put every.
Can you imagine, like getting all
to
that
just go through and look
together?
up every score and then chart it? I hated math class. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, man. Shane, do you think you went to the pit, my man? We see you, brother. I hope you're doing good. We would never put Shane Boring in the pit.
No.
K. Wayne might though. You gotta watch him.
Oh, wait, we're putting K. Wayne in the pit, or he would put him in the pit?
He would put him in the pit, yeah.
Oh, K. Wayne's wild now. I think what it does is he's just out there, he's trucking along, right? And he reaches up and just hits the wrong button because he has a pothole. And he's just like, uh-oh, wrong dude.
Hey, Horned Up says, just messing with you. I like the charts.
Yeah, I know, man.
Appreciate the support, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We're at 147 likes. Is that where we're at?
We're pretty close, bro.
Yeah, 3 more and we'll give away a poster, signed poster. So do it to it.
Yeah, we'll get that going. Probably won't be on here for too much longer. Probably about 15 more minutes or something. We got to record an episode for tomorrow. We're going to come out with some content for tomorrow. It's been wild, dude. This has been such a wild season so far to this
weird.
point.
It's trying to get our footing. It's kind of strange, right?
Hasn't it seemed like it's been nothing but like injuries and like breaking news and putting somebody on IR and
signing someone random?
Just random. Well, we barely got the Pacheco news, and then the whole Kareem Hunt news kind of broke, and that set it on fire. It's like we got to get one thing after another, and then it just goes radio silent for 3 days.
Yeah,
it's been a kind of a strange. It's been a strange entire offseason, to be honest. Let's be real.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we're over the 150 likes, Mike. So let's get a Wheel of Death going for the people. Let's do a Wheel of Death today.
Okay, I can do a Wheel of Death.
We'll have Nightbot pick out 5 of you, and then we'll may the best man win or lady.
Yeah, let me get Nightbot going over here, and we'll bring up everything, and I'll hook it up for you guys. So while I'm doing this, get it going. Hashtag poster. You got to put hashtag poster in the chat, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
So if you want one, hashtag poster.
So we're going to give you a few minutes to do that. Let's just pick a time. Let's see. It's 10:50 Eastern time, right at it. So let's just go 10:55 is when we're going to start doing it. So you have 5 minutes. We're going to talk about football for 5 minutes, and you guys be hashtag poster in it over in the chat if you want to be eligible to win a free signed poster. But yeah, I think overall, man, I'm excited about the matchup this week. It's a little bit different than what we've seen so far. The Falcons are not a team that you think about as you do like your AFC competition,
Right.
like the Bengals and the Ravens. It's a little bit different. We don't play them that often. They have played us pretty close in the past. One that sticks out to me in particular is a game that we had to get a pick six on a 2-point conversion to win the game from Eric Berry. So obviously that was a long time ago. But I don't think the Falcons are a pushover team. I think they're a good young team. We talked about that. I don't think the Chiefs are going to overlook them. But I think it could be a good game. But I'm with you, man. I think them being in the Dome, being in your third game of the season now, so you're kind of starting to get your footing. I think this could be the week that we see something from that looks more normal from Travis Kelce as far as the stat line goes.
Yeah.
Also think this is a week when we'll see Mahomes sling it a little better. We might see a little bit more action with the passing game. But I think it's also a week, Mike, where they're going to have to run. They have to run the ball, so we might see some Crocky J action, my man.
Yeah, Witchy says Trent's gonna get his first INT. At some point, he's got to get it right.
Let's just keep saying it until he does.
Yeah, at some point he's got to do it. But look,
Trent, if by chance you ever watch this show and you happen to be watching an hour and 16 minutes into a live stream, we're rooting for you, buddy. Come on, bro.
To be honest, he don't get many chances to do it. They don't want to throw to the warden.
Yeah, dude, he's so good. He's such a good player.
He's great.
I love him.
He's good, man. I really like Trent McDuffie. Dude, I've been so proud that was the one guy I really love, Steve. I think that's got to be like my favorite one that I've ever hit on. I'm more proud of him than I am the Rams picking Puka Nacua.
Well, yeah, because we get to reap the benefits of Trent McDuffie.
Right?
Right. But no, like not only is he just freaking bang on, spot on, good football player, but he's so likable too. Like, I mean, he's quickly become one of my favorites. So
yeah, big McDuffie fan.
Gotta love the warden.
Yep. Okay, well, let's figure out who we're giving this poster to, shall we?
Yeah, I told him I'd give him a couple more minutes. So.
Oh, you giving him more time?
Yeah, hashtag poster, hashtag poster, hashtag poster. If you have not and you want to be eligible, because we're gonna start rolling for this bad boy in about 2 minutes.
Also, the more you write hashtag poster, it will put you in the drawing more times. I don't know why, but it's doing it. So if you just want to keep putting. Look, if you just want to keep spamming the chat with hashtag poster, at the chance of YouTube, you think
Nightbot doesn't know,
you can go at it.
Yeah,
Nightbot gets a little tricked every once in a while, but yeah, he's throwing people in there extra times for doing hashtag poster. So maybe it's capped. I'll have to go look at it. Maybe it's capped at like 3 entries or something. Yeah, it is. It's capped at 3 entries, so you can put hashtag poster up to 3 times.
Yeah,
it's not been like that. It's not been like that up to this. So there must be a setting that got switched on Nightbot. Somebody's hacked our Nightbot.
Dude, could you imagine what we would write if we hacked someone's Nightbot?
Should we do it?
No.
Hashtag
that'd be mean, bro.
Hornt.
We would ruin somebody's live stream.
Probably so.
Yeah. But anything else like early on, because we're gonna jump so far into this matchup by the end of the week, and then of course on the tailgate. But like just initial reactions, Mike. Like what's one thing you really think that the Chiefs need to focus on, or one thing that you're like a matchup you're keeping your eye on for the Falcons game?
I think it's will Andy move away from the run game altogether and put too much on Mahomes and those receivers, because again the receivers are not getting open. Kelsey has struggled to this point. I do think he'll turn it around. Rashee Rice has looked pretty good, but the other receivers are not really getting open, and that includes Xavier Worthy. He's not creating a lot of separation. You've seen Cam Taylor-Britt. He was in his back pocket, and why? Because in his route stem, he should have literally stayed on the inside and beat him up that way, and instead he kind of put his foot in the dirt and went on the outside because he thought that's what he was supposed to do, and it allowed Cam Taylor-Britt to stay in his back pocket. And then Mahomes underthrew it. And going back and rewatching, and it was in our intro tonight, Mahomes throwing to Rashee Rice, that was about 2 inches from being underthrown as well.
But that almost got perfect.
So Mahomes has got
perfect. Don't take that away from him.
Dude, it could have been underthrown just by a tad.
No. That was perfect.
I'm saying if he would have underthrown it just a tad, it would have got there.
But he didn't.
It's true. But he's got to look. I think he's got to be a little bit more confident in his throws. Throw them out there. Let your receivers go get it. I think
that's what's going to work with Xavier Worthy.
It almost feels
right?
like he's aiming a little bit, right? Even with Kelsey, it's like he's aiming a little. Like,
let it go, Patty.
Throw the ball.
Let it go, baby.
Maybe he needs a behind the back pass for it. But yeah, my whole thing is that I hope Andy don't abandon the run. I think Carson Steele will be fine this week if given 10 to 15 carries. I believe Piron could play just a little bit more. We've said this for 3 weeks, but it has to be true at some point. And maybe Kareem Hunt can figure out a way to get activated before the week and get a couple carries. That'd be pretty nice to watch.
All right. Well, it's about that time. So if you still have time, just hashtag poster, do it as fast as you can. But let's start rolling with Nightbot. Let's pick some people, man. Let's have a Wheel of Death.
Let's go. We're going to pick 5, okay? So let's do it. Witchy. Did Witchy
made the wheel.
Witchy, did you win a poster already? If so, you can give up your spot or you can pick somebody, but I'm going to put you on the board.
If she wins, she can give it away if she wants. Or she can have 2. If she wants 2, she can have 2.
Exactly. If you win, you can give it away. You can choose whatever you want to do. It's cool. Let's roll it again. Let's go. Cole Keller. Let's go. One more.
We already have 4?
Zimbauer. No, that was 3. I was just saying one more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 2 more people.
We got 3 down. 2 more to pick. Yuck Futube. And boy, when I seen that, I was like, somebody just dropped an F-bomb right there, but geez, what a name. Luis Torres. And I say 5. Let's take 6. Want to grow on? Why not? Let's have some fun. Kathy Welch. Let's go,
Kathy.
Okay, so we've got the 5 names up. Let me share the screen with you guys, and we've actually got 6 names. So
yeah, Chief said all legends though.
This one's sponsored by Blue Chew. Get yourself a poster. Sponsored by Blue Chew. Hornt. Let's roll it. You don't want to see your name. If you see your name, you lose. Okay.
I'm laughing at you.
Cole,
YouTube.
You're out, my boy. Cole is a legend, though. I'll give him that. He's a legend. He's been removed from the legendary chart. This is another chart I kind of like seeing, Steve. This is like a chart of happiness.
Hey, look, he's happy about this. He actually said, no, pass. I can't have any Chiefs gear. The Chiefs have won the Super Bowl every year. I don't have any Chiefs gear. So, three-peat's still intact, baby.
Three-peat's
the Wheel of Death as a Chiefs fan.
Let's go. Who's going down? Oh, Witchy. Okay, well, on the bright side, I think Witchy already got a poster, so cool. Here we go. We're down to the last 3. Josh Zimbauer, Lewis, and Kathy, all legends. Kathy and Josh are going to battle right here, but Kathy, for once, you didn't want to say Kathy holds on. She actually, that wasn't a good
Kathy
one.
called it the Wheel of Fortune, and it was like, how dare you call me the Wheel of Fortune?
How dare you? Josh is out. So it looks like Lewis Torres. Let's go, baby. Let's give Lewis a spin. Lewis, hit us up at allchiefdup@gmail.com with your shipping address. We'll get that out to you very soon. And by the way, anybody that's won anything and you haven't sent us your shipping address, you need to do that, allchiefdup@gmail.com. Because some people has won and not sent me anything. So I can't do anything. I'm not a mind reader, and I'm not going to scour the world knocking door to door.
Why?
Even though I might. If it was in my own neighborhood, I would do it just to be an idiot, but I'm not going to drive to Arkansas and do it, okay?
This you?
So is this you? Is this you? No. You hate the Chiefs? Okay, loser. And then you just go on.
Yep. Well, appreciate you guys for being here tonight. One more time, just want to shout out the sponsor of our episode, BetUS. Thanks for powering this live stream. So go to betus.com. Sign up for that. It's 150% match on your first deposit and 125 on your second and third deposit. And you want to go do that. Do it quick.
Do it to it. YouTube 150. That's the code you sign up with. Steve, but I tell you what, if you do it, and I think you should, no ifs, but I think you should. The thing is, you can't hardly bet on the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been the favorites. You cannot win money on the Chiefs. You can't do it.
If you want to win a bunch of money. Now, if you want to, obviously, like, you want to win. But, I mean, if you want to, like, close to a sure thing, then you bet. You bet on the Chiefs.
Here's what I did today. I took $20 and I said I'm going to go bet on the Chiefs to win the division. We're so favored to win the division.
What are you going to win? Like a nickel?
You had to bet $100 to win $3. What in the world? Who's doing that?
Well, when they've won the last 8 or 9 of them,
you have to have like $3 million to make back like $30. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I see people talking about other betting places. Y'all should Bet US a shot though, for real. Like, go do it. It's a good platform.
I mean, if anything, you get your deposit match.
Yep.
You just play off the free money.
Yeah, just YouTube.
There you go, baby.
YouTube 150. Use that code.
Just get over there. Use YouTube 150. Let them know. It helps too when we convert our people over to it. Allows Bet US to know that, hey, All Chiefed Up is a player in the game. Let's get it going. Let's pay him more money. Then maybe we can get YouTube to stop showing so many ads.
Yeah. One of these days, guys. But once again, appreciate you guys being here. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't hit it already. Keep your eye out. If you're a member, we're going to have our members only live stream tomorrow evening.
Giving away a Rashee Rice jersey, baby.
Not sure on the exact time just yet, but keep an eye out for that bad boy tomorrow evening. It's not Rashee Rice, it's Justin Ross. It's a signed Justin Ross jersey we're giving away. So if you're a member, be at that members only live stream tomorrow. If you're not a member, go to join.allchiefdup.com. Sign up now, become part of the ACU crew, get over there, win yourself a signed Justin Ross jersey, and have some fun with us, man. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I was expecting somebody to throw out some memberships for some people tonight to have a chance, but they said no. I won't throw out any extra chances.
I think they were like, look, I'm going to wait till after.
Yeah, they say, look, we're not going to throw out 5 gifted because I don't want somebody to take my shot of winning that Justin Ross.
See, I see how they're thinking.
But that's a little greedy.
They're being greedy.
That's a little greedy, guys. I thought we were better than that. But hey, you do you.
You do you. And we'll do us.
But we'll be back tomorrow, Steve. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to drop a video tomorrow about 1 p.m. too. Maybe at noon to 1, somewhere in that range. Get over there and watch that. Click it. As soon as you see it, click it, watch it, like it, let it play to the end. I don't care if you're even paying attention. Just leave it on. Go vacuum the house. I don't care. Just tell YouTube you're watching it. That's what works. But we appreciate it. We'll see you guys. We'll see the members tomorrow night giving away that beautiful Justin Ross jersey. Catch you guys tomorrow. Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.